Hello everyone and welcome to yet another edition of what I like to call a Dragon Ball conversation. So today we're going to be looking at a topic which is at sometimes very unusual in terms of the Dragon Ball YouTube community, but when you actually take a step back and look at Dragon Ball as a whole, you actually realize, oh, this makes a lot more sense. So today's guest that joins me will be the very talented and the very jacked JaxBlade Fitness. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm quite well, though I gotta be honest, I'm kind of geeking out that Goku invited me to one of his videos. Like, dude, I love your work, okay? Like, I'm so honored.
Don't worry, it's all good right there.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to do that. That's bad of me.
No, it's okay. No, man. You keep it up,
no.
man. I'm just honored. I'm very honored to be here.
Well, thank you for joining me because I studied your channel for a while and you have offered something that not a lot of other channels can. That's fitness advice as well as tying that into Dragon Ball and other geeky pursuits, which I find very fascinating. So, sir, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, basically, my biggest thing is, like, I used to be, I've always been a Dragon Ball fan since I was, like, in 3rd grade. And one of the things we have in common, Masako, is I also grew up in England as well because I'm half British. Like, I'm British from my mother's side. So, like, I grew up watching it in 3rd grade on Toonami, and I fell in love with the show. It, like, replaced Pokemon. I was like, oh my God, this show is just phenomenal.
Oh, this is great. You watched it at the same time as I did.
Yeah.
Like, when I would have been, like, 13, so I'd have been in, like, year 8 or something. But yeah, do continue.
Oh, no problem. So, like, what I basically did was, like, as a kid, I fell in love with the show. And then when I moved to America, like, I watched the show because it was just so entertaining and so fun, and I just fell in love with it, and I just started collecting all the merchandise, getting all the shirts. But then, like, I started getting really lazy because I, like, what I did was I played Budokai, the first Budokai game, so many times, and then I would just sit at home watching DBZ instead of, like, being active like I used to. So I gained like a bit of weight, so I became like this little chubby anime kid. And the people at my school, like, at first it was no big deal, but then, like, when you get to, like, middle school, kids start making fun of you, like, what the heck are you wearing? Okay, you're like this chubby kid, you'll never look like them. And then, like, they would just basically, I was being bullied, and it was tough times, but it makes you stronger and stuff like that, where the kids would just make fun of me and say, like, oh, you're never gonna be fit like them, and they would, like, test me, oh, they can fight, why can't you fight? And they would just make me feel like so less of a person. So I would come home and I watch a Dragon Ball Z, and I would see a character like Goku was just so strong, so kind, but just such a force of nature if you messed with anyone he cared with. And then he was just such this like strong dude. I was just like, I want to be like that. I want to be able to protect myself and be strong. And that show just motivated me to start working out. Like, that was a show because, like, for years I had always thought if I watch something like you watch a bunch of fictional shows and you're like, okay, I can never do anything like them, but they're entertaining. But for me, like, that was the first time I was like, well, these guys, they didn't just like, oh, I have a yellow sun, I turn into a freaking Superman. Oh, I got bit by a spider, I have super strength. It's like, you see them training their butts off to get that strong, even though they have something. So that inspired me more than anything, and is the reason I work out today.
I had very similar experiences when I was young. I was quite a chubby kid. Well, I say a little chubby. I was actually morbidly obese. So, I had similar situations. So I can speak, bro, seriously. But yeah, so today's video, we're going to be talking about, if you couldn't guess already, fitness and Dragon Ball. How do the two combine? How do they correlate? So we'll talk about that, as well as our personal experiences a little more, as well as the explosion of merchandise which has been generated thanks to the fitness world and Dragon Ball being a thing, and then people growing up and wanting to have such things. Is it even possible to look like the Dragon Ball characters? So are we chasing some pipe dream, or is this something that can be attainable? So let's go back and think about the fitness and Dragon Ball. How do the two combine? So, Jax, just tell me, how do you think they combine?
Well, it's just like one of the things, like, you always see the the pursuit of strength through like hard work and ethic. It's never like, it's rarely ever like, I'm not going to say never because there are times when it's given, you know, ultra divine water or Kai power up, stuff like that. But like most of the time it's just like, hey guys, we want to get strong for this tournament. We got to get stronger to fight this incoming threat. So it's a pursuit of hard work.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. Because there are those periods I can imagine. I can definitely say that the 3 years that they have to train before the androids show up, that is definitely a prime example. But as you say, Toriyama does throw in those convenient get fit quick schemes like the Ultra Divine Water, you got Kaioken, you've got fusion, you got those kind of things. You know, Toriyama is all about like that because he just does not want to write an explanation. So just like, that's the thing. That's all about the capsules. Capsules were made so he didn't have to worry about how people would carry things.
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember
he wrote around
it.
He does show how fitness can work and how, you know, if you really push yourself to the absolute limit, you can achieve anything. As we see in Dragon Ball Super, Goku is able to take on the gods, much like how Son Wukong could in A Journey to the West. So Goku is really becoming Son Wukong, and the fitness is really kind of showing. And even in Super, it shows if you push too far, you're going to get some hella cramps.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember that episode when he had the freaking gun. It was just like, oh God, my body's just distorting. That was painful to watch as a fitness.
Oh, that's gonna hurt in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so going forward to that, how about, the Dragon Ball imagery? If you look at early Z and in Dragon Ball, except when Roshi gets jacked and gets pumped up, most of the characters tend to look on the svelte sides. They kind of look on the leaner side. They don't look as muscular. But as you go forward, with designing and animation techniques developing over the early 90s, you start to see the more traditional and iconic muscular design. As that became popular in America and the Western world, that really kind of translated into a sudden boom of fitness desire in the Western world. What would you say?
I would say a lot of like, okay, for instance, some of my best friends and I are like such Dragon Ball Z fans with the fitness stuff. Like we analyze it, like we all have like our own stories of like which scene inspired us. And then like we actually analyze the physiques as well. Like for example, Goku back in Dragon Ball, like when he first went from that a little, you know, he was just pretty pudgy. Like he was just like an average kid.
Just going back to that briefly, it's that Toriyama actually insisted that he grew up.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He did not want to draw Goku punching people and fighting with these little chubby arms and legs. So he grew up into an adult, which looked more natural.
Exactly. I remember reading that as well. And the fact that like when he did that, when he aged him up, like Goku's physique when he's 18 years old, like that to me that's a pretty good solid physique. I mean, like him, Tien, Yamcha, like all of them have these really muscular physiques, but then like when Z, like, oh my God, I remember Goku fighting as a Kaioken when he was fighting Vegeta. As a little kid, I was just like, is he gonna pop or something? It was awesome.
Well, they were talking about that, saying, Goku, don't use the Kaioken too much or you'll explode.
Yeah.
Huh? What?
No, because like, well, the thing is, the body types in Z, like there are points where you can go, okay, yeah, that's obtained. Like we mentioned earlier, there are different artists and different animators and all that stuff. So like sometimes they draw them like really jacked. Like for instance, during the filler arc when Goku went to get the Dragon Ball from Tao, and like you see him like having to solve that little puzzle, like when he's just in his tank top and shirt, like his arms are just so ridiculously, like it just looks like someone injected him with like
someone worthy of power thirst.
Exactly, pretty much. It's so ridiculous. And then like there's sometimes they draw like Gohan is like when he was like 6 or 8 years old, and he's just like he's got abs. Like when during the Garlic Jr. saga when he's swimming with Krillin to go thing, I'm just like, well, I wish I looked like that back in elementary school.
Well,
like,
it just reminds me of a DBZA line about when Piccolo and Gohan are training, and Gohan's going,
Wait a minute, wouldn't this cause horrible muscle degeneration when I grow up, crippling me for years to come?
Well,
yeah, they don't tell you that when you're a kid.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like it's some things like, okay, for instance, I know if you train, like I have a friend who's like we make a joke, we call him Gohan because like when he was a little kid, like he has pictures of himself and he had like a 8-pack and stuff like that, but that was because his dad was a military person and he would always make him do like calisthenics with him. So like his dad would have him do like push-ups, pull-ups, like and all that stuff and go running with him. And so like he was built, and like I guess he did it into a point where it wasn't as, you know, as strenuous as like when you get older. Like when you get older, of course you can push yourself harder, but it was just funny to see that.
How does the show inspire people? I mean, I suppose this will kind of lead into personal experiences now too. So, how did it inspire you, Jax?
Okay. Oh, for me, man, I'll tell you like this. Like this is a bit of a sad story. Like this one day, like my bullies were just pretty much messing with me, and they pretty much, because I was just minding my own business, and I was in my Goku shirt, and I was playing on my little DS or something like that, and so like someone just basically came up to me and it's just like, oh, you like that stupid show? And like I'm just like, yeah, it's not that big a deal, guys. And so they're like, oh, those guys can fight. Why can't you fight? And so they just started slapping me around, and I couldn't do anything to defend myself. And yeah, I felt like horrible about it. And I was just like, oh, God. So I went home, and I felt like such just sadness and depression. I felt like I'd never do anything. And then I was watching Dragon Ball Z, and it was an episode where Goku's fighting Frieza. And even though this was the Superman dubbed Goku, like not the, country bumpkin we know from the Japanese one. It was the one he was just pretty much like, I don't understand why you call Saiyans by such mindless names. The only thing it does is reveal your own fear and ignorance. I guess name calling is your only way to attack, because you're too weak to challenge me any other way. And I don't know, that line lit a fire in me to make me go, I don't want to be like, I would love to say that to like someone like my tormentors so I could be stronger and make myself. And so that was the point where I was just like, okay, I'm gonna start working out. I don't care what, I'm gonna start looking this stuff up. I'm gonna start researching it. And then it was funny at first, like I didn't know how the human body worked at first. When I was like, so this was like when I want to say 13 years old. And so like I would just analyze Goku training to Namek, and I was just like, okay, he does a bunch of push-ups and sit-ups and drinks plenty of juice, huh?
I see what you did there.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I would do as a kid, was just I would try to do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and do that every single day for a week. But then like, when I got into high school, I met some friends who like taught me how to do weight training, and I was just like, okay, that's awesome. And then I met a few friends who taught me about MMA, so I was able to go to those classes and learn how to actually protect and defend myself. And then I just found a love for health and fitness. But I would say that line when Goku was fighting Frieza and Goku training to Namek, that's what inspired me the most, to just be a stronger individual, to be able to help people I care about, or like protect someone, like, or protect myself and protect people I care about.
Wow. No, that's great. I can really attest to that. I mean, honestly, I am not a very muscular person, and I'm not really that guy, because I remember I used to weigh like about 360 pounds.
Oh damn!
Like, I was a big kid, and I was kind of like at that point where I was so big, I didn't get hit on, I didn't get like bullied, and I think all these guys would say, "Oh, if you weren't so big, I'd deck you."
Oh,
yeah, so I was
right?
like,
Dang.
I was too big because I could just sit on them.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I was that big, so they wouldn't do anything. They call me names and call like that and stuff like that, but I would watch Dragon Ball Z as well, and it would make me feel a little better. But when it all came to a head in like 2007, when I was flying to Canada with my mum and brother, we were going on vacation and going to my first ever anime convention. We had to get upgrade to Economy Plus just to be able to sit comfortably, and to me that didn't feel right. I really felt like if I'm going to be traveling anywhere in the future, I don't want to have to pay through the nose for it. I watched the series that Jamie Oliver did, says Eat to Save Your Life, and I remember picking up an apple and eating it. So kind of like the healthy version of like going, and I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
Right.
So it's like the healthy version. It's
awesome.
So I did that, and then over the course of a year and a half, I lost weight, and I got down to like 180 pounds. But then I do admit I went too far. I went down to 155, and I'm like, I'm 6'3". That was way too skinny. If there are pictures knocking around, I'll probably like show a picture of when I was at my skinniest. I looked ill. I did not look good. I'm now at around 250. I'm okay where I am, but I could lose to get back down to 200, maybe do some weight training, but who knows. But I got that under control, and I do remember having the Dragon Ball theme on my iPod. That does it. Yeah, no, that helped me. And I did get into some weight training, but I was kind of like at that stage in my weight loss where I couldn't really see the gains, so I kind of got a bit disheartened. So I just kind of started doing walks and like doing kind of aerobic stuff. So,
but less cardio.
I think that was the time where that was all I could do really, because treadmills, running, fast impact stuff, that ain't gonna work for me, because my hips and knees are already screwed thanks to the 18, 19 years of being obese. So it's just like, that running, that ain't gonna happen, because otherwise my hips would be done. So I gotta find other ways to do it. But
that's completely fine.
yeah, no, Dragon Ball did inspire me. And yeah, who knows, maybe in the future, do a fitness challenge. I might give you a call.
Definitely do it, bro. No, that's the thing. Like, I always, cause I'm a personal trainer now, so like this is my like thing. So, I was saying like, I dealt with many people who were obese before, and it's just like, if all you can do is walking and list cardio, that's phenomenal. Okay, cause like I'll tell you straight up, like that's what most bodybuilders do before they get ready for a contest, because it's so low impact. All the calories are coming from fat, because like actually when you're doing running, the majority of calories are coming from glucose from carbs you've eaten. So that I'm sorry if that's extra. That's basically like
no, it's part of what you do.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. But it's just basically when you go like just jogging and running, the main source of energy to keep you running is actually glucose in your muscle from carbs you've eaten. So like fat is secondary. But if you actually do walking, like low intensity steady state walking, like walking for an hour, that actually is just burning straight fat, because it's so low impact, all the calories just can easily burn the fat easily. Yeah, because like when you're running, you have to focus more on like, okay, I got to maintain this running pace, and so your body can't burn the fat fast enough. So it'll just go, okay, we can use glucose to just keep us going fast. So
that makes sense, because during a convention, I'm like, I usually am walking or on my feet all day, and I'm like walking about like 10 miles a day, and it's just like, oh geez, because I've got like a pedometer, and it's just like I look at myself and I go like, ooh, like 12,000 steps. Oh, how did I do that? Oh, walking around the con. Oh yeah, anime goodies and figurines do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of merchandise, I have seen many ads online for tank tops, t-shirts, hell, even our I Am the Hype shirt, which is now available on shockrobot.com, is part of the explosion in merchandise and fitness that involves Dragon Ball characters. What is your favorite example? What is the most awesome? What's the worst? And what's the weirdest that you've ever seen?
Okay, my favorite one is the one where it's like, there's this tank top that says, "This isn't even my final form," because it's just like, oh, it makes me want to train harder. And then there's this one that, bulking, and it was just, I like that. A bulking like a Saiyan, I like it. And then there was like a 3 ways to get back. There are so many good ones. Like I'm not gonna lie, I have a whole like closet full of these, because I'm just like, when I first saw these, I was just like, oh my god, this is something I used to get made fun of, but now like all the fitness people love it too. So I'm just like, oh god, I'm trying to think, because I've seen so many to count, and I'm just like, okay, what was the weirdest one I've seen? There's someone trying to get you like a cell or something. It's just like, we can't all be perfect, but I am, because I lift, or something. Like it was just like I guess like a body shaming shirt. I don't know. Like it was weird. Like I can't remember.
Cool. You're egotistical.
Exactly.
You wouldn't want the message. That's not the message you want to give. You don't want to be shaming anybody.
Exactly.
And so I can imagine that. Yeah, but the ones that I find really weird are the ones that always involve. Speaking of body shaming, they are always bashing Krillin.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Training to beat Goku, or at least Krillin.
Oh yeah, Krillin's one of the strongest humans on Earth and has one of the hottest wives. So yeah,
I know, right? I keep saying Krillin's the best fighter, because despite his power gap to other villains, he still gives it a try. He's the strongest human, and I don't care anyone else says. I am usually a very placid guy, but when it comes to Krillin or Tenshinhan, Krillin is stronger.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Well, that's why I love seeing like the things with Krillin, because Krillin to me, like I always, even though he was a jokey character, like, oh guys, I'm scared, he was just like, he still went up against all these people that were way stronger than him. That takes just I'm speaking as a former bully kid. Like if I could have done that, I would have. I wish I had more Krillin's tendencies back when I was in middle school. Like these kids were way bigger and way stronger than me, but I was just weak and helpless. But the fact that he like knows that he's weak and helpless against these guys, but still goes up and does it, that to me is just so respect worthy.
Is it really possible? Can you really look like a Dragon Ball character? I mean, which physiques are completely impossible? And yeah, let's just get that out of the way. Broly.
Yes, I know. I was about to say that.
No. Unless you want to be roided to the eyeballs.
Exactly. Oh, okay, well, let's see. Like, for instance, again, I'll say this. Dragon Ball, like if you look at Goku and Dragon Ball, 18-year-old Goku and Dragon Ball, Yamcha, Tien, those are actually very possible, because like they have like a pretty solid muscle mass and like a pretty rational body, body fat composition, just the amount of body fat they have on their bodies. So like it looks like something like a guy who goes to the gym a lot and focuses on his diet. So sorry, Goku, no bacon wrapped muffins today or something like that. I know, but like when you get
and
to
and then you just go Goku just going, I want to look jacked.
It's so true. I'm sorry, I geeked out a bit when you did that. So when there was when you get to Z, the very first saga, the Saiyan saga and Z, like all that to me is still pretty much like attainable. Like if you go by real world standards, like they just have solid muscle mass. And then is when you get to the Kaioken. Like even I made a joke about this. Like if you compare Vegeta in the Saiyan saga to Vegeta in the Buu saga, it's just like, damn, them gravity chamber gains really paid off. Cause this dude,
Yeah, I know, right?
Like his arms are just like vascular ridiculously. And when you get to, I would say Super Saiyan Goku, I would say anything post Frieza saga Goku training is just like, okay, that's ridiculous because his shoulders are bigger than his head there. There are times, like, I'm not gonna lie, me and my friends have this challenge where we always look for people and say, okay, that's a Goku physique. Like that is like a physique that, because Goku is what I consider having the perfect ideal physique for aesthetics, meaning he's big, but he's not too big, but he's definitely not small. So like too big would be something like Nappa, and then moderately small would be like well built, would be like someone like Bruce Lee or freaking One Punch Man Saitama, something like that. So like Goku's just got the perfect balance of like size and aesthetics. And there is a point, like this is people don't understand, like there's a point with fitness when you get so shredded, like it's actually bad for your health. Like it's not gonna help you at all, because like when you get to a certain body fat percentage, like bodybuilders getting on stage, that's actually them at their weakest, because they have to starve themselves to look like that. They have to like dehydrate themselves so their muscles like stand out more and have that like
I remember having
tight.
a friend who was a CGI designer, and he was preparing for a bodybuilding contest, and he would be basically eating nothing and just barely drinking anything. And I mean, he went on to win the national contest, and we saw pictures, and it was like, damn, you look good. And he's also, a really good whiz at CGI, and he's also a good mechanic. But he was not having fun. Yeah,
because a lot of my bodybuilding friends, they always say like, dude, okay, I look like a freaking action figure, but I would skin a cat for a muffin right now. And it's just like, it's like, I understand like doing that for such, like your diet has to be so freaking strict and on point to maintain. I mean, even if you're not using help, like let's say you're trying to, because what I personally would say to people is there's like, I did a video on this called How Attainable Are Your Superhero Physiques, where I basically say like, okay, level 1 is like someone who's just like, I work out occasionally. I don't have like abs or anything like that, but I'm healthy and I work out, and that's really respectable. And level 2 is like, okay, I'm starting to look a bit more athletic and built, and then I'll have like a cheat day once or twice a week, and I'm starting to look more fit. And then level 3 is like an athlete, like Michael Phelps or Usain Bolt, or guys who just have abs 24/7. And then level 4 is just someone who's a bodybuilder about to get on stage, and it's just like so freaking ripped, like Broly, Super Saiyan, like ultra Super Saiyan.
Level 5 is just basically
yeah, exactly. It's just screaming and muscle and pain. My whole life is pain. So, oh god. So, yeah, I agree, man. Like that's what I would say for what is reasonable. Like anything before, like even Goku training to Namek, like when he has a pump on, it looks like just a guy who works out regularly who's got like a pretty decent physique. But
so you basically say that level 1 and 2 is definitely attainable for the average, Josuke.
Yeah, and then level 3 is if you really want to, push it, like if you just want to be athletic.
Let's say that, anyone out there listening to this is inspired to get started. What would you say is the best start on their quest to get swole?
Okay, well, first off, what I would suggest is figuring out, what do you want to look like? Like, what is your ideal physique? Do you want to look like, an athlete? Do you want to look like certain people? Because there are certain things where some people will say, I want to look like this, and then people will say, well, that's just not possible or something like that. And I'm just like, dude, like you never know what's possible until you try. Like, would you really say like 1,000 years ago, oh yeah, we're able to talk to people all over the computer and we're able to freaking fly? Well, what's a computer? We can fly now in the air. What the heck's that witchcraft? Like, it's the thing where I say gradually push yourself to be better. So like at first say, okay, do you want like to be a bodybuilder? Do you want to be athletically lean? Do you just want to be healthy and in shape? And like all of those are respectable things. Like you can be healthy in shape no matter what. And so what I would say is just start gradually. Like just say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to work out, say 2 to 3 days a week. So I'm just gonna find a blueprint. So I actually have a video series on this called like Mastering 2017 and Making It Your Year. But to sum it up, there are first things you have to find out 3 steps. You have to master your schedule, because everyone's schedule is different. So we're not all gonna have the same schedule. Like someone may go, oh, I have to go to work, I have to go to school, I have to do this. So like figuring out your schedule is one of the key things, and then just making sure you're motivated and disciplined, because there's so much time. Like motivation is great, but it's fleeting. Motivation will get you started, but it's fleeting. So you have to be disciplined, because there are tons of people who go, oh yeah, I just watched the Saiyan Saga Dragon Ball Z, man, he was jacked, man, I'm gonna go work out and do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, all that stuff every single day, and it's just like, oh man, this is hard.
Yeah, exactly. In the January memberships at gyms, right? Have you ever, I actually want to ask this because I'm really curious. Do you notice a lot more people when you go to the gym? Do you notice a lot more people? And when do they usually start, stop coming?
Okay, so I could tell you this, because it's happened every single year since I got to the gym. Okay, so this is pretty much all happened. First week, like literally first week of January, packed from like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. Everyone's just in there trying to get their thing. All right, second week, still moderately, like decently packed, and then they're just like, okay, it's starting to die down a little. Third week, all right, you got some people who actually have stuck with it. Some people are starting to fade out. Some people are considering whether to leave. Fourth week is when they're pretty much like, then second month, they're pretty much all gone. The people, it's just like they're all gone. It's funny, like I count this. Like me and my friends, we're not in the negative way. We're just like, okay, this guy, like there are some people you look at and you're just like, he's got that edge, he's got that eye of the tiger, he wants to do this. Okay, like I can tell he wants to stay. And then this person's just like, yeah, so I set a New Year's resolution, so I'm gonna do it. And then like, oh, but they're on the phone most of the time, or they're talking all the time to people. And so it's just, this is one of the things I always stress to people. If you're really trying to get focused, like one of the best ways to do it is just have your iPod ready, a music playlist, and then actually have a workout routine made for you. Like don't have a routine like for example, if you go online and you just say, oh, I want to, build muscle, okay, like bodybuild.com or something like that, I got a routine. I'm going to follow this routine to a T, and then I'm going to do that for consistently. Because one of the main reasons people fall off is we have these neural pathways in our brain, and neural pathways is something that helps you stay disciplined and motivated, because what they do is they help you stay like consistent. So for example, you build up strong neural pathways doing something consistently. So I could be working out for say a week. And so I built up some strong neural pathways, and then you build a habit by doing something consistently for 30 days. So let's say I worked out a month. So I built up these strong neural pathways, and I want to keep working out and get stronger. But then let's say I stop going. And so when I stop going, it's going to be easier for me to stop going, because my neural pathways, once you like build them up and then get them weak, it's really hard to build them up again. So I could be like, I'm going to the gym. You know what? I don't feel like going right now. I'll go at night. You know what? I'll take the day off. You know what? Oh,
and it goes from there.
Yeah, and it goes from there. So it's so important to keep your neural pathways strong so that you're able to keep working out and stay consistent. So one of the things I always tell people is just like stay consistent. Like if you have to, one thing that I really suggest is low impact. Like try doing, like Masako said, like walking every single day. Like walking an hour every single day. That's just some easy fat loss. And you can listen to Audible. You can listen to SoundCloud. You can listen to any of Masako's videos or something like that. Just like go walk. Yeah, just I'm telling you.
And some of your videos too.
Yeah, sure. Or go on the treadmill and watch like a video, like just have a playlist of them. And that's
absolutely. I always find what really works is not necessarily music, but basically, let's say you've gone through your workout playlist and you go, oh man, I don't have any music to listen to. Get an audiobook, because you'd be surprised, because a music has a finite time. 3 or 4 minutes, it's done. Move on to the next track, and then you become aware, oh, it's another track. If you listen to an audiobook, those go on for hours. At least an hour or two, some, more than that. And you could be surprised if you put an audiobook and you go walking around, your local area, or if you're at the gym, you're like doing like 20 minutes, on the treadmill, you go like, wow, did I do that? Is it 20 minutes already? Oh, you become unaware of the time. Do not work out in the presence of a clock.
Right, don't
look at your phone. Keep
exactly.
your phone, if you got one of those armbands, so you actually have to physically look, get one of those. Or just don't look at a clock.
Exactly. No, because it's one of those things, like, some people say a minute is really fast, and you've never been on a minute on the treadmill when you're doing sprints, okay?
Nope. I cannot understand that.
Exactly. It's one of those things where it's just like, wow, I'm like a time wizard or something, because like this feels like a minute on the treadmill when you're doing like sprints. It feels so long and so uncomfortable. So if you're just, like Masako said, getting an audiobook, listening to it, and just walking for, let's say, an hour, and then hear your timer go off, it's like, wow, it's been an hour. I burned 600 calories in that hour. Wow, that was amazing.
It's the hyperbolic time chamber in here.
Exactly.
So I think that actually leads very well onto the conclusion. So I think based on what we've talked about, you can say that fitness and Dragon Ball work together surprisingly well. And it's a main inspiration for how pop culture driven people, like that's probably the logical term to say a geek or a nerd, actually gets fit. And you would say, as old South Park would say, follow your dreams. You can reach your goal. I'm living proof.
Biff guy.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy gets it. Seriously. But yeah, no, that's great. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, Jax. It's really been a pleasure. It's been really insightful. So this is the point of the show where we get to say to our guests, plug away. You got your social medias? Fire away.
Okay, well, you can follow me at JaxBlade Fitness on Twitter. You can follow me on Tumblr at JaxBlade. You can follow me on Instagram at JaxBlade. And on Facebook, my page is Jordan JaxBlade Downs. And of course, my YouTube is just, JaxBlade. And I'm very honored and very humbled that MasakoX had me here. Like, I've been a big fan of you for a while, even when you did the old Naruto abridged stuff. So, like, I've really just, I'm just honored that you would have me on this. Like, thank you so much, man.
Well, that's all right, man. Thank you so much for being here, because this is a very it's a very synonymous topic, but also a very rarely explored topic. So I'm very glad to actually have somebody who has a great fountain of knowledge to join me on this and actually, share some of their knowledge to people that might want to delve into this. So it's an honor having you here, sir.
Oh, well, thank you very much, man. Like, thank you, Goku.
You're welcome. But so now it's the time to turn it to you guys out there. What do you guys think? Do you think fitness and Dragon Ball are synonymous with each other? Do you have examples of you being inspired by Dragon Ball to get into shape, or at least, push through any kind of boundaries that you might have had growing up, or even now? Just leave a comment below and let's get the conversation going. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and thank you once again, JaxBlade, for being here. And until the next one, guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Catch you later.